I'm sorry for lying. Even Chisato Suzuki might have lost with that cut. Chihiro Suzuki went for it anyway, possibly because I tried so hard to protect Asakura. Chihiro Suzuki is remarkable. I might have been afraid of doing micro moves with Dragon Ball powers, or perhaps I'm just unsure.
I recovered quickly, as I myself said.
That's right. So I tried to act tough and said the opposite, but I ended up getting cut and benched. I was finally starting to get into the groove, so I really regret stopping the match. To the Angle cast, my name is Naoto, and I'm his older brother. Today is for men. This tournament's victory prediction. Honestly, I'm not very good at sharing my thoughts on how things will unfold. I'm still feeling regretful today.
From Miyuki Asakura's bench.
Because I'm a fanboy of Kazuhaku Suzuki, I feel regretful that Kazutaro Suzuki is taking the blame.
Well, you know, I predicted from the start that Mikuru Asakura would win.
That's right.
That's what I said, right?
Maybe.
It wasn't what I expected, but...
Yeah. 'Cause I won.
It's refreshing, I'm happy. Are you happy, Mr. Mina, or are you frustrated? I'm happy. There are a lot of people, aren't there? Well, maybe not that many, but it seems like quite a few.
There are a lot of fans.
Since there are a lot of fans who come from the morning to see the players, that's why the Tokyo Dome gets packed. That's part of it too. I want to hear in detail about Fujiki Jiro and Asakura Mikuru's impressions, but since we've already seen the previous match, I'd like to hear their thoughts starting from the first match. When it comes to Joe Hiramoto, I said Joe Hiramoto would win an A, and he actually won an A, didn't he? There was a difference in physique, and there was also a difference in experience overall. I thought Takeda was at a disadvantage, but surprisingly, a lot of people predicted that Takeda would win.
Is that the level of the fighter as a competitor? Or is it as a fighter? Maybe a lot of people thought it wouldn't be decided by the difference in striking skills.
For example, if Hiramoto had no striking ability, if he was a fighter who could only do groundwork, he wouldn't be able to strike.
He can't strike at all, isn't that right? But actually...
I think so. Maybe his striking is actually better than his grappling, right? I'm sorry, I don't really know the details.
Yo.
Even if it's not the real thing, I thought it would be fine to just hit the main shot from that gym.
That's what I thought too.
That's definitely true. For the individuals who won one-sidedly, it was either a clean finish or they decisively won.
Pound.
Well, even so, I thought I had won pretty convincingly, or at least I was thinking I would win convincingly. But anyway, that's for next time. Yamamoto Asa Masters versus Tomisawa. I thought Asa would win unexpectedly, but then gong sounded and I thought, wow, that's scary. Asen is just standing there like a punching stone, not moving his head at all, and it looks like he's just taking the hits. Shingo may be referring to something familiar to longtime martial arts viewers. I was terrified because the head position looked so unnatural, almost floating, and didn't move sideways at all. I was so scared that initially I couldn't even scream. Although initially surprised, I acted on instinct. The difference in level, today's theme, it's not really like that, right? I was honestly scared to go back to that kind of practice match, but yeah, that's how it was. Fujisawa, a player with a strong heart, keeps pushing forward, enjoying himself and having fun. Surprisingly, Fujisawa, Hiramoto, and Shiro are all on the same level, which is interesting. I wonder if that's not the case. Or maybe when you get used to it, the big busters come out. If it turns into a Fujiwara showdown, the busters who are used to Fujiwara might have a good compatibility, don't you think? Hiramoto Castle busters are actually the opposite. The busters are the winners and the challengers. That's something you can do with a matchmake. That's what I'm saying, but I honestly don't know either. So, it's not something that simple. If we move on to the next round, the busters Uzatsuyo and Shio Uzatsuyo will have to face off, and since they're friends, it's a bit sad.
That's how it is. But well, that's just how it goes.
But it seems like it went just as expected. You as well?
That annoying side too, just as expected.
Yes, it looked like you were having fun, really enjoying the fight. So even if you were being all bouncy and silly, you still seemed like Yoshia-san. Yeah, that's right. I think you understand me pretty well. This is such a ridiculous matchup, isn't it?
RIZIN.
I have a really bad feeling about this. I don't think we can win against such overwhelming odds.
Especially Uzatsuyo Yoshia.
There's just no way we can beat him. Yeah. That's exactly it. There's no way we can win against a team like that, no matter how hard we try.
Muto.
It's like they're not even human without their weapons or something like that.
No,
It feels like they're watching that, you know. It feels like I'm being suspected.
I just couldn't feel comfortable, you know? There were times like that too. Since it's Uzatsu Yoyoshiya, it's not surprising that this happens sometimes. I wonder if it's not just a regular car, but something special. That's how I feel.
I'm enjoying myself and feel like I'm doing this my way. That's the vibe I get from the offer. And what I discussed regarding Tokyo Dome. I want to express myself freely, not randomly. I said what I wanted to, so it's hard for me to articulate what that means for me personally. With this reckless match, it's like the final high kick or something. It didn't really feel like I was being hit that hard, but it was just enough damage that I thought, whoa. That was close. I fell, but I pulled my chin in and landed to avoid hitting my back and head on the mat too hard. So it didn't feel like I lost consciousness or anything like that. I think I stood up at the end, but I didn't see the press conference myself, so I'm not certain. But if I was okay, I guess that's good. I was just tired. Yoshio-san, congratulations on your hard-fought victory. As expected, it was Sotani-san who responded. I'm glad I won. I held on and won with my fan-fighting technique.
Even local representatives appear different on this channel compared to their appearance in the RIZIN highlight videos. I thought I could get through the match, but at the same time, I wasn't so sure, and I think I let out a bit of an uneasy voice. I wanted to stick to the plan, and I think that would have been good, you know? Yeah, that's right, good.
That's right. Dawson, you know, I kind of feel like I'm starting to feel my age catching up with me. That's amazing. No matter how much I try, I can't hide it. But my age is definitely starting to show, and I realize it. The idea of pure and refreshing victories still resonates in today's themes, doesn't it? I'm always motivated, especially when there's something at stake, regardless of whether the match is exciting or not. For athletes, winning is really the most important thing. That's where it all started. It was a simple and refreshing performance. Next, Hiroya Shirosuka, I think. This debut match is probably the one that stands out the most. In a match between experienced players, but still, as expected, the experienced player wins. That's what everyone thinks, right? All the predictions were exactly like that. The Hiroya player overwhelmingly took control of the ground and dominated. I didn't think I could get a pound out, so I thought maybe I'd try a choke or a 2-round decision, but he completely controlled my arm and didn't let me escape. Even when I tried to escape after getting hit with a 1-2, I couldn't get away. I really felt the difference in level. As an A fighter, overall, I thought the Hiroya player handled it better than expected. Surprisingly, Naoto held up despite expectations that it would be decided in one shot. I guess so. Last time, Hiroya player
got knocked out in one shot, so you never know. When facing a powerful fighter like Hakushiro, a single clean hit could result in a knockout. This unpredictability makes the match exciting to watch. That's what I was thinking, but it didn't turn out that way at all.
That's how it is. Hirotani will also compete in a flyweight tournament. I'm not certain, but it's possible. Shirotaka also seems like he might be a really good matchup or something like that. Like with Tomizawa or in A or something like that.
Well, it just turns into regular striking.
But after all, when a debut kickboxer is in a debut, it's usually the kickboxer who strikes. Mainly,
like the main fighter or something.
If there's not much of a difference in experience, maybe that's why they shouldn't really be matched up together.
Yeah, that's right.
If Umeno Taiga just ends up in a regular batting match, that's fine. But there are also fans who want to see A instead.
What?
I want to see that striker's special move from below. I think so too, but I'm not really sure.
Yone.
So that's a different story. Even if you form a team and pick members, it doesn't necessarily mean you'll do well. Just because people say the team is doing great, it doesn't mean it's actually going that well. That's how it felt to me. Still, the players were strong and the team was lively.
Yeah.
As expected, Musasu was completely dominated by Baitas Takusan. Even the players who seemed to have a chance were completely dominated by Baitas Takusan. Because both of them were players who were supported by Baitas. So everyone, please get Baitas. The protein is really good and cheap. Hiroya, the player, has recently been producing his own protein.
Bakataka.
There aren't really any comments like that, are there? With twice the amount of bites, it's overwhelming. I don't really know, but it's not bad. Since I don't know, I'll give it a try. It's not something I'd buy for the price, but it's worth trying at least once. It's not about the price, but for those who drink protein, Mr. Zehi Baitasu is a great deal. Honestly, it's reasonably priced. And it's common for people to say that even ordinary citrulline can be taken daily without any problems. People who have a hard time waking up in the morning,
I highly recommend it for those struggling in the mornings.
I'll stop if this doesn't work. I feel like I'm not really living.
That's about how much I rely on it.
AA is good, so is Crash, and multivitamin too. There's also a comment during the live stream saying they're eating wild vegetables. I don't really know. I don't even know if I should eat wild vegetables. Honestly, I don't really know, to be honest. If wild vegetables are healthy, you can get the necessary nutrients from supplements instead. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Next is Sabatero Taidashin. It's not just about the mouth. That's really true.
I thought it was just about talking tough, but it's more than just words.
I was really surprised by Tano's surprise. It's just like you said, that mouth plus. The best fighter always emerges victorious.
After the match, Jun said on the mic that he was the best in Japan, but was that really the case, or did he just get too excited? Either way, that's definitely not true.
I'll try to speak in Japanese as usual. Fucky, forgot my Japanese. He's an interesting and funny character like Bantan class. Since I mentioned Masaki Inoue, it's a humorous comparison. Even if Sabatero wins as expected, his performance makes you think that, right? Yamato Taida couldn't do it with a takedown, you know. Shinobu Ota couldn't get the takedown, so maybe that's just his true nature. Naoki Inoue's takedowns are tough, and his striking is sharp too. Plus, he's got good reach, so he can use his high kicks and other techniques effectively. That's probably why. Initially, I believed Sabatero's jab was dictating the fight's pace. From the very beginning, no link. Tada Senshu and the others struggled with the inner motion jab at first, but they gained momentum and started to succeed. After landing those strikes, the way he set up the match order was really skillful. From the very beginning, instead of making big swings, he controlled the distance with jabs, which was effective. I thought the way he developed his attacks after landing those punches was skillful. Taida Shin seemed to be holding back, not unleashing his full power and just moving around the ring. Shin skillfully dodged his opponent's repeated attempts to knock out him with headshots, barely avoiding each one.
And let him...
It looked similar from what I recall seeing in the highlight, but I can't be certain since I only saw it once.
That's how it looked to me.
That's what I thought. Use that batting technique.
I think so.
It won't work.
I don't know if I can hit it.
I don't know if I can go, but...
I don't know what kind of trash talk Masaki Inoue will do, but it's kind of fun, isn't it? He's an interesting and strong fighter. So, let's move on to the next one. Let's go to the next one. Yan Nakamura
versus Short Pants versus Sakura.
Daikyoka.
I really like Daisy, so I was a bit disappointed, but I still got to see a good fight. I could really see the difference in experience. Like, that's how I feel. Like, especially since this is a live broadcast.
Well,
I was impressed by Niwa's batting skills. He definitely has a knack for it.
Nah.
It's not like he's been doing it for that long, right?
Well, I think so. He's usually pretty good.
Yeah, that's right. He faces the pitch. It's not like he's scared or anything.
Yeah.
I think he's a guy with guts, but it still felt like he was a little too eager and rushed things. He tried to force it himself and ended up getting hit consecutively. But that's also what makes him interesting. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he develops from here. Next. It went pretty much as expected, didn't it? That's how it was, just as I thought. The solid defense led me to expect a new pitcher like Makoto Shinjo or Kuren, but when Fujisaki took the mound, the skill gap became apparent, resulting in a lopsided outcome. That's how it played out, Shinji.
He's strong. It feels like he's even entering the tournament for the title.
That's right. It doesn't seem like both of them will enter.
Two people.
I expected both to enter, but even as a pair, they seem no match for Kubo-san.
And outside?
Connecting with locals is crucial. Honestly, I believe no one can defeat Kubo-san in that tournament.
Even in the pool, it's like fighting, you know?
I'll call from here.
Dagestan.
There's one player from the family, right? In the flyweight division.
What? Just once for something important?
Even if that's true, I don't think I should get involved personally. I'd rather not go there. Enter once, listen, and if you miss it the second time, speak up.
Call out.
No, that's not it. Even if you ask Jun directly, he might not know, so I don't know either. Mr. Yukikazu Fuji survived, just as I anticipated. Ultimately, I approved of Fuji's decision. That's right. It wasn't me.
No, especially it wasn't 100. To Mr. Kubo Daiki's new post. I copied Omaris with that grilled style, and I thought the combination of the grilling was interesting.
But next is Koji Shina, right? This was really unexpected.
I thought it would be a little more interesting, but honestly, it really wasn't. The Shina fighter lost, but Koji remained standing, leading to an anticlimactic ending.
Also, it didn't seem like Shina got hit cleanly, so I don't think it was that bad.
Yeah, that's why he got tired.
I mean, looking at this, what were you expecting? Or rather...
Were you expecting Shina to go wild and knock over the cones or something?
I never said that. Because she's just so clumsy and bad at it, I couldn't help but think, oh, wow, he's really that bad.
That's right.
But the moment I said, is this really the structure with just Anpo?
Because there was also a gap.
So I was barely able to endure seeing Anpo Shuna.
That's how I felt.
Maybe the reason is because Anpo was hitting the punch so hard, so I felt like I could watch it a bit more slowly, but honestly, Koji and the others are way better at boxing than me. It felt like I was watching only due to their different physiques, and neither landed solid punches, so it wasn't very interesting. It just ended with that kind of feeling. Honestly, it was pretty much as I imagined, and I don't think this was really necessary. Raizun-san wasn't really necessary.
But still, Raizun is necessary. By including things that aren't usually there, it makes the other matches look more interesting. Or at least that's what I thought. So I tried putting in a break, but it didn't really feel right. But when I saw it, I thought the next serious match would be more interesting. So I kept going. But when I actually saw a serious match, it didn't really satisfy me.
It's like adding a completely different spice. That's how it feels to me.
Right.
Does it feel like you're taking a break before that, or not really? Yeah, I don't think it was really planned that way, but that's how it turned out. I don't really want to see Suguru as a sweeper, but if you're going to do a boxing-style exhibition match, then maybe with Satari or A, or even a kickboxing match would be fine, but I don't think a regular match would be interesting. It definitely feels more like entertainment than an actual match.
Yeah.
Right. Mr. Sugimoto, I'm interested in your thoughts as well, whether it was the construction fan or anything else that moved you. Please share in the comments. I'm very curious to hear your perspective, Sugimoto. I don't think there's a single person in Japan who thought this was interesting, but what do you think? I don't think there are any people who found that interesting or were moved by it. But if there are, please let me know, even if it's just a little comment. Everyone, please leave your comments on that comment. If you don't, I'll move on quickly, so please pay attention and watch until the end. But there's this scener that there was the next level Marek Daniel, and I was really surprised. In this double event, he was at a heavyweight level. In the end, it was just a back and forth match. I expected it to be more intense.
Well, I was waiting for it, but there weren't many actions, so it felt more like a ground game or just watching each other. So, as an action match, it wasn't really satisfying.
That's right. Stadio was also a bit... That knee strike, right? That knee hit clean, then the overhand landed, and he went down. I wonder what he was thinking at that moment. Even then, he should have gone in and finished it, but he missed it, you know. That was a real waste.
Despite that, Yamisu won the match. Even though it might not have been a perfect miss, it's certain that it ended right there.
Yeah, my impression from the fans has changed a lot, so maybe that's why I feel like I've been reborn. Maybe it was a long decision win, or maybe there weren't many long developments in the match. After all, that unusual flying or something like that, it kind of reminds me of a back elbow or something wild.
And so,
a really unique move. The impression of being fierce still remains, but that's about it. Spinning back elbow.
It landed clean in the end, so it was likely a direct hit.
Well, I just felt like it was kind of so-so, not really that impressive. For a heavyweight, it didn't seem like a very dominant or convincing win. At least that's the impression I got. But still, he's a heavyweight. Kamita is refereeing a title match for the first time. Yeah, it seems incomplete. It feels like it ended too quickly. I don't really know. I just don't know. I don't know what everyone else thinks, but I just don't know. It felt like they were trying to make me out to be the bad guy, and honestly, I just felt really weak. Just like that. Dancing and jumping around, isn't it?
もちろん、上田選手。
That low kick is really strong, but is it really that strong? What do you think? Breaking it with just 2 kicks is pretty amazing, isn't it? That must be some serious kicking power. It looked like he was carrying something strange and going inside. It seemed like that to me personally, so I just thought so, but I don't really know. That's just how it looked to me.
I didn't get the impression.
So if it's a heavyweight tournament or something, I honestly don't think Japanese people can win.
It's tough, it's really tough.
Because there's only one person, right?
Everything depends on Ueda Senshu.
The winner will face Ryan Bowder.
Not Ryan Garcia.
If you're worried, then be worried. For example, it's like a title match between Jose Baltazar Ryan and Badr Hari. If that's the case, then it's not certain. Even if you try to push yourself like Ueda, it might not work out.
It's not the wrong reason.
The heavyweight class is thriving, and Ueda is standing out as the top contender.
All right, Masugoi press.
Yeah. Next, Nishitani. I expected Naohara to do it, but I thought Nishitani did even better than I imagined. Like somehow with that kind of technique, I knew it would be a disadvantage in batting, so I figured it out. So I switched right away, firmed up my guard, and went for it from the start. Whether I win or lose in one round, I wanted to erase any sense of being at a disadvantage. Even if I got full-bodied, I could respect that. If I kept going like that and lost, I could reflect on it and accept the loss. But if I kept going at a disadvantage and just got replaced, I wouldn't be satisfied. I wanted to be the kind of player who could make that switch. But if I couldn't, I wanted to at least try. There aren't many players who can do that. So from the first round, I felt Nishitani's determination to win. And I thought that was really impressive. Yeah, exactly. Overall, the difference in level is...
Oh, right.
The original player has an excellent batting technique and bats with a good combination.
Well, since it connects with the fourth and fifth punches, I'm not exactly sure, but it looked like he matched the initial overhand with a jab, missed with the left hook, landed the right straight to the guard, and then the final left hook knocked him down. That's how it seemed to me, but maybe that's just normal. He seemed to swing once into the air, and that was all.
That's the impression I got.
But somehow, I thought he was really good because he could just keep going like that. Since we're talking in a conversation, that's how it is. Hara Senshu wins.
I want to see what's next.
Well,
I wonder what I should do. Akimoto Kyoma would likely lose to a regular Akimoto, so it's probably no good. I really don't know. Not really. I just watched the original players match. Maybe the way I'm saying it sounds bad.
But it's not really that type of thing, Nishitani.
There is definitely a difference in level, though. It's fine as long as it suits you.
I agree, but even if you want to be seen as popular, you're not really that type, are you, RIZIN?
That's true, but the matches are definitely interesting. If you make the matches well, they'll probably be interesting, I guess. It seems Hiramoto Ren is eager for a rematch with Asakura Mikori since early morning. If you can't beat someone ranked higher than Nishitani, honestly, I think it's just impossible. That's how it is. When I look at it honestly, I'm not sure if it's good or not. Please, Mr. Yu, teach us the opposite in the comments. Please. Well, honestly, it's not really the type of match I want to see with the original players. If I had to choose, I'd rather watch with a striker, not a skilled player. So if you do that, it might look boring, but I want to look like a tricky, unorthodox type. And if I don't, it'll just be an ordinary development. It feels like it would just turn into a boring match, so that's how I feel. Next is Takagi Masasu Akimoto Kyozumi Akimoto. He was strong, really strong. He didn't back down at all in the grappling exchanges. The way he took the back was incredibly fast, and in the end...
That was impressive. They kept taking each other's backs, reversing positions, and it was like a constant battle for control. I feel like it was the first time I've seen something like that.
It was interesting because it was a high-level match, even though it was just an A-class bout. Even in featherweight, it's not like the stronger fighter always wins, right? When choosing, it's either bantam or featherweight. Bantam offers interesting matchups like Sabatero. But if we're talking about who's rising the most, it's probably Hagiwara or someone similar who's really on the rise. Yeah, they're really gaining momentum and rising up. It's not really developing into a situation where Akimoto Kyoma is winning with his skills, so I can't really picture that happening. Well, if we're talking about what's interesting, it would definitely be exciting if Akimoto could win and ride that momentum. If he beats Akimoto, it would be a real breakthrough. Yeah. With content like that, even when I said Kyobakun 19, it was truly amazing. So honestly, So honestly, even with a burner, you can't make much with that amount. If you go up to a Feza class, once you reach the level of a Bantam class champion, it's really something. That's why Sabatero and it's interesting that the winner is matched up with Naoki Inoue and Tidal, isn't it? Sabatero is strong, you know, and he's got a lot of skills, right?
And Akimoto,
If it comes down to fighting with Keiba, use a wrestling approach.
yeah.
That's what I was thinking. It's an interesting and profound matchup, isn't it, Ja? Next, Miyuko Asakura, Ryu Suzuki Ichi. Miyuko Asakura has returned.
Why is she back now, I wonder?
Well, this is morning. I had a feeling Miyuko Asakura would come back.
I thought so.
That's what I thought. I'm unsure if he's truly considering the content. Asaka Miyuko, the candidate, was bouncing around from one round to another, so just from that, you could tell she was different. Asaka Miyuko, the candidate, definitely didn't have the typical counter style at all. She developed her own approach and kept going. Even in round one, she got hit once, but I can't recall how. It seemed like she wanted to punch based on her movement. Suzuki Chisato, the candidate. For a moment, her movement stopped, and it looked like her knee buckled a bit. So I think it landed. Yeah, it definitely landed. That's why. It felt like she was keeping her guard up and her top keep was strong, like she was really focused on maintaining her top position.
From there, bam.
I'm not sure if it actually landed cleanly, but the damage wasn't really done there. Even though Chisato Suzuki is strong, up until now, all of that strength has been completely neutralized. Chihiro Suzuki isn't the kind of fighter who can keep winning just by going with the flow. So aside from his grappling, that's how it is. My impression is that his grappling is something he builds up from the bottom, but even when he sweeps, it's not that easy. I thought there hadn't been a fighter until now who could keep top control like that, so I realized just how strong top control can be. Also, I wasn't afraid of his hitting. Whether he calmly went for a takedown in the middle of the striking exchange or was just relaxed, I thought that was impressive. Normally, you'd want to be more cautious. It was a great performance, really a good performance. It was intense. Chisato Suzuki is really strong-willed and tough, with a strong spirit. She went out in front, so that was probably the best thing she could have done. If you say that's not Chihiro Suzuki, well, I personally don't think that's the case. I don't want to take away from Asakura Miyuko's victory at all, but it wasn't Chihiro Suzuki. Individual. Watching the actions that came from a personal feeling.
But
From the very beginning, Suma was good.
me, because I'm a fan of Chisato Suzuki. This morning, Chihiro Suzuki, who fought Mikuto Kura, feels she didn't win against that version of Keramofu, but rather she feels victorious. I took the champion belt. I think it's probably not Chihiro Suzuki, judging by the way things look, and I feel like it might be someone else.
It's not like I'm saying Mikuru Asakura definitely won, though.
Yeah.
People can take it however they want. Please do as you like. Even so, it absolutely seems like people are saying, no matter what, Asakura Mikuru didn't really win against Horiguchi. So maybe next time, or maybe after that. So even if he wins here, does he have to win again next time? That's the kind of feeling I get. For example, when Arega Manzen lost to Suzuki Chihiro, it was kind of like that too. If he can control it, then he can definitely beat Ren Hiramoto. He can do it. If he can hold him down, he can control him. That's definitely a possibility. A clean Ren Hiramoto, right?
There were a lot of comments, weren't there, during the live stream. Cool.
If you get into that topic, it could go on forever.
Well, honestly, in the very first match with Heion Ren, I never intended to do that at all. That's how it turned out.
But even so, I'm proving that I can actually do it.
So,
I'm more like Hiramoto Ren than Kureburu Shoichi. And actually, I'm pretty much acting as a substitute for Hiramoto Ren. If you think about it logically as a fighter like Kihaku, if you think about it logically, Ren Hiramoto is the best. So his rise is amazing. It's going to be really interesting. So I'm more interested in that. Even more than Kleber Koike. Kleber is also popular and rising, but...
Well, that's it for now. Since Mikuru Asakura won, isn't it more likely that Ren Hiramoto's match will get more attention? Fukai, right? I guess he lost saying something like that.
No, that's not it at all. He was just saying that, but it was more of a risky comment, you know.
Fukai.
I think Mikuru Asakura, the chosen fighter, was starting to lose his momentum compared to before, so it was really good that Fukai won this. Now he can also speak up at the Tokyo Dome.
Fukai Fumi?
If you think about it, it's been over 9 months since the no damage. You can get out if you want. Since Haihon Ren can't do it, he took on the crawl attack and got knocked down. match. As for the opponent originally, well, isn't it interesting? I think it is. Can I take Hara Senshu and keep him?
Mikuri Asakura Senshu will go one more time. Can I take Hara Senshu and keep him? That would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think if he gets on top, he can totally do it.
Do you want to see something like a derby?
Well, I definitely want to see it.
Not really.
The fans seem unenthusiastic, but continue watching. Even if Hiramoto Ren wins once, it likely doesn't matter much. Waiting until December for Hiramoto Ren to do it probably won't make a difference either. That's just the reality of the situation. I believe the Afghan-American fighter active is stronger, so I'd like to see that match. However, it would also be good to have the original fighter face Hiramoto Ren.
Well, if Asakura Mikuri wins, then that's that. Then Hiramoto Ren 3 can happen.
It would be great if Hiramoto Ren keeps moving up. But even if he just wins, that's fine too. Yeah, I guess the content and everything is fine. Instant rematches are only fair. Hiramoto Ren got one, so Mikuri Asakura might expect the same. There are different perspectives to consider. Well, that's something I can't really predict or say for sure, you know?
Yeah.
I'm glad Asakura Kosen won, and I'm excited for what's next. Fukai Ryokata, that was truly the final one. Shell Knife Krevel Koikumen, main event, Fukai. Surprisingly, the result was as expected. The result was not what I thought. Fukai and Seki are both very strong. That was my prediction.
Maybe I can't do it.
Sai is definitely strong, I admit it. That was completely unexpected. But still.
But that's just talk, isn't it?
Other than that, everything else was pretty much as expected. It feels like that's how it is with this group. So it's surprising to see that someone who doesn't know much about martial arts can actually notice things like that. I may possess some analytical skills, but I'm uncertain about that.
That's right. Sometimes you have a surprising sense for things, you know?
When I seriously try to guess the winner, I'm usually right. Even when I take a wild guess, I'm often correct. Logically, some things are simply unpredictable. Typically, that's impossible.
That's right.
I don't want to say it, but Taisei is the hardest to predict. Hobo zero data Fukai.
It's essentially zero data, so Fukai Hiramoto.
The atmosphere differs when playing with Shiro or Tower compared to others. You can sense a distinct difference. As a kicker boxer, I think the other guy, Kuchisochi, is more unpredictable, Fukai.
Well, that's true.
It's almost zero, yeah. Yes, definitely.
Fukai Kazuto.
You said it, didn't you? That...
Fukai said it, that's all there is to it.
But that's probably just a coincidence. I think they chose the best player.
I put my hopes into it. That's how I felt.
That's how it usually goes. Even short pants are becoming more popular. It's Oji-san, you know.
Kumon.
Akarebel, if you continue like this, you'll end up back at the shell up. I expected that as well.
Yeah, that's right.
I didn't really think he'd go for that kind of style, but that's just how it turned out. I thought he might try to do it with a pound or something, but still. I thought striking wouldn't be that dangerous either. Normally, the punches you throw from that position aren't that powerful or dangerous. The first thing is, as expected, that the quick step in is really fast. Yeah, he's definitely skilled. Even Jinsenju throws 4 punches, so he's certainly doing it. Kashi, Idolov throws about 4 shots, possibly chasing after someone. Pursuing someone in that scenario is challenging. With a low posture, your opponent is beneath you, requiring you to chase them while firing 4 shots, making it highly difficult.
That's not something you can just do easily. I'm not worried about being taken down, and I'm able to break away from takedowns. Perhaps it's my confidence or simply my nature. I'm unsure.
Well, I don't really think about it that much. I don't really worry about being taken down. Even if I get taken down, I just deal with it. So I guess it's not really a big deal for me. I think both Taida Shin and Taida Shin Senshu would feel the same way. It kind of looks like that, but it's not really like I'm just swinging wildly or anything. There's a reason for what I do, and if it's impossible, then it's impossible. But I'm pretty good at it, and I'm fast.
Shinyu.
The timing was good too, so I thought it was a level up. His strikes and kicks are excellent, but he lacks the fear factor. He seems to win by combining strikes and grappling. People agree that Kleber's striking is highly skilled. He doesn't really try to finish with his strikes, so I didn't feel that fear from his striking. That's what I thought. Even when he rushes in and throws punches, he does it skillfully and powerfully, so I think that's impressive too. The fight ended swiftly after he landed that single punch. He hit him with a level punch, then hit him again in the head, and he went down.
At that point, he was already out, basically. He got hit with a punch, his head bounced off the canvas, and he went down. That's the situation, you know.
And then he took 2 more shots after that, right?
Right, Shades ref.
The referee entered, and Cribble seemed to be observing intently, indicating the stoppage was well-timed. That's why Shadenef became the champion. Shadenef, it's not something you can win easily, is it? I sense Karamov has significant freedom, but it likely isn't a major concern. Shadenef will likely choose 100, as usual, and continue this pattern going forward.
Right.
I said I wanted to save some for Zen and Aries, but that's actually for the lip service. If it's that strong, I want to go to 100, yes. If we fail to defend the contract again, the consequences are uncertain. Ultimately, going to 100 is a must. That's right. I want to see it too. When it comes to a seat life, it's like Queen La... Kyutai Toru is Asakura Mikuru's choice. It must be done smoothly to be interesting.
Make it a tournament to keep it interesting.
Since the tournament determines how things will unfold, I want to avoid it as much as possible if I can't make it a good match. RIZIN wants to say it straight and make it, so if Mikuru Asakura wins the title match for the 3rd time, it would be a simple and straightforward story, wouldn't it? That's the feeling I get. It was interesting, really interesting. Almost all the matches were interesting. I didn't really pay attention to Suila Koji, but that's because I was taking a break. That's how I feel.
Me?
Yeah, that's how I feel.
It's really not something that's related to Shinami at all.
Huh? What?
Are you referring to the man from Kibaru Swayon? I've heard that story as well.
Something about getting a bonus.
Well, I don't really want to know the details, but I do know what's in that bonus. It's okay if you don't know. Just search for Kazuteru once and you'll be fine.
I don't know.
I know about it, but not in detail. I want you to tell me.
It's okay, just tell me the basics.
Just the basics and about that Japanese sake. With meat from 1 sheep and 1 cow and maybe some rice. Or maybe not, I guess. So, like, this one and this one and this one, just keep adding them all together and so on. It's not really a set, but it's kind of like a set.
Yes, yes.
That's not about the money. It's not about the money. If you say goods, then, well, in the end, it's like 1 sheep and 1 cow's worth of meat. Like sheep meat for 1 animal or cow meat for 1 animal. So it's 1 cow and 1 sheep each.
It's not confusing at all. Isn't it actually more of a bother if you don't buy a refrigerator for your stupid house? Actually, it's the opposite.
On the contrary, what if it's a whole cow? That's like 881 pounds of meat, right?
I don't really know the details.
It's dangerous, absolutely.
Speaking as a representative of the fighter's way of thinking, generally, money is important, but I'd like you to make it a regular salary, not a bonus.
That's what everyone is thinking, right? Sponsors are likely involved, whether it's related to meat or something else. Despite that, it remains a topic of discussion.
But as a topic, it's not that interesting, is it?
No.
But did you really win, Junji?
At the press conference, you'll probably find out at the press conference.
That also seems kind of interesting, doesn't it? If you want to know everyone's opinions, please let me know in the comments. Also, when there's an open chat for my martial arts event, there are groups chatting in the open chat, so it's definitely an open chat. Martial arts fans are gathering like this. You can share your impressions or predictions. If you're a martial arts fan, I think it's definitely better to join. I personally organize information there. I'm getting this information, so you can't just find it by searching. What? It appears that some individuals are posting irrelevant content in this chat and viewing it, which is confusing. Please only join the open chat if you genuinely require assistance. Otherwise, kindly refrain from participating.
Well then, Baitasu.
It's true, this is the best supplement brand in the world.
Yes, it's #1. For those who care about protein taste, definitely. Do you have any recommended flavors,
It's protein, that's what it is. My recommendation is blueberry yogurt, but for supplements, if you prefer something with a mild taste, please use this one. Please check the summary section. Also register and smash that channel button. Thank you very much.
Please be sure to do it. Smash that button too. See you again. Bye bye.